The massive warship emerged from hyperspace without warning. Its black hull absorbed light like a hungry void, making it nearly invisible against the darkness of space. The ship measured 15 kilometers from bow to stern, dwarfing even the largest vessels in the Galactic Council's fleet. Captain James stood on the bridge of the UE's Vengeance, humanity's first and only dreadnought-class warship. His weathered face showed no emotion as he watched the tactical display. Around him, his crew worked with practiced efficiency. They had trained for this moment for years. "Captain, we have multiple contacts," Lieutenant Smith reported from the sensor station. 47 council ships are converging on our position." James nodded slowly. "They found us faster than expected. No matter. Are all systems online?" "Yes, sir." "Shields at maximum. Weapons charged. The new gravity drive is functioning perfectly." Commander Wilson confirmed from his position. The Galactic Council had ruled over 300 species for 10,000 years. They maintained peace through strict control and superior technology. When humanity joined the galactic community 50 years ago, the Council treated them like children. They limited human expansion, restricted their technology, and demanded tribute. Earth's leaders smiled and agreed to everything. Meanwhile, in secret shipyards hidden in asteroid fields, humanity built something special. They studied alien technology, improved upon it, and created weapons the galaxy had never seen. The first council ship opened communications. Admiral Krell, a reptilian creature with scales that shimmered blue, appeared on the main screen. "Unknown vessel, you have entered restricted space. Identify yourself immediately or face destruction." James stepped forward. "Admiral Krell, I am Captain James of the United Earthship Vengeance. We're here to discuss new terms with the Council." Krell's eyes narrowed. "Humans are not authorized to operate military vessels of this size. You will surrender immediately." "I'm afraid that won't be possible," James replied calmly. "You see, humanity is tired of being treated as second-class citizens. We've come to renegotiate our position." The alien admiral hissed. "You dare threaten the Council? One ship against our entire fleet? You humans are more foolish than we thought." James smiled for the first time. "One ship is all we need." Krell cut the transmission. Seconds later, the Council fleet opened fire. Hundreds of plasma beams and missile salvos streaked through space toward the Vengeance. The crew didn't even flinch. "Activate the absorption shields," James ordered. A shimmering field surrounded the ship. The enemy weapons struck the shields and simply vanished. The energy didn't explode or dissipate. It was absorbed completely. The Vengeance's power levels actually increased as it fed on the enemy's attacks. "Sir, shields are at 150% capacity. They're literally making us stronger," Wilson reported with satisfaction. The Council fleet paused their attack, confused. They had never encountered such technology. Their most powerful weapons had done nothing. "Return fire. Use the graviton cannons. Target their command ships only," James commanded. Along the Vengeance's hull, dozens of weapon ports opened. These weren't conventional weapons. Humanity had discovered how to weaponize gravity itself. Invisible beams of compressed gravitational force lanced out across space. The first beam hit a Council battleship. The ship didn't explode, it imploded. The graviton beam compressed the vessel into a ball of metal the size of a house. 300 crew members died instantly. 2 more command ships suffered the same fate before the Council fleet could react. "Cease fire," James ordered. "Open a channel to all Council ships." His image appeared on every screen in the enemy fleet. "This is Captain James. You have seen a small demonstration of our capabilities. The Vengeance possesses weapons and defenses beyond your understanding. We don't want war, but we will no longer accept slavery disguised as membership." The Council fleet hung in space, uncertain. They outnumbered the human ship 44-1, but 3 of their best vessels had been destroyed in seconds. Their weapons were useless against those impossible shields. On the bridge of the Vengeance, James waited patiently. He knew the psychological impact of their demonstration. The galaxy thought humans were weak, primitive newcomers. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Humanity had spent 50 years pretending to be helpless while secretly preparing for this day. The Vengeance was just the beginning. 5 more dreadnoughts waited in Earth's hidden shipyards, and dozens of smaller warships were nearly complete. The galaxy wasn't ready for humanity's true potential. But ready or not, change was coming. 3 hours passed in tense silence. The Council fleet maintained their positions, neither advancing nor retreating. Captain James knew they were communicating with their leadership, debating their next move. He used the time to review intelligence reports with his senior officers. The Council homeworld is 17 light-years from here, Commander Wilson explained, pointing at the star map. If they call for reinforcements, we'll have maybe 6 hours before they arrive. They won't, James said confidently. Pride is their weakness. Admiral Krell won't admit he needs help against a single human ship. Lieutenant Smith looked up from her console. Captain, I'm detecting strange energy readings from the Council fleet. They're doing something. James studied the tactical display. The enemy ships were moving into a new formation, a perfect sphere surrounding the Vengeance. They're attempting the Unity Protocol. Interesting. Sir? Wilson asked. It's their ultimate fleet weapon. All ships link their power cores together, creating one massive energy weapon. It was used once, 3,000 years ago, to destroy an entire rebel planet. The crew exchanged worried glances, but James remained calm. Don't worry. Our scientists predicted this. Johnson, activate the mirror field. Yes, sir. The weapons officer's fingers danced across his controls. A new layer of energy surrounded the Vengeance, invisible to the naked eye, but clear on the sensors. The mirror field was humanity's greatest defensive innovation. It could reflect any energy attack back at its source with doubled power. Admiral Krell appeared on the screen again. His scales had turned dark purple, a sign of extreme anger among his species. Captain James, you have one final chance. Surrender now, or face the combined might of the Galactic Council. No ship has ever survived the Unity Protocol. No ship built by Council species, James corrected. Humanity plays by different rules. Krell bared his razor-sharp teeth. Your arrogance will be your death. All ships initiate Unity Protocol. The Council fleet began to glow. Energy flowed between the ships, creating a web of blinding light. The power readings on the Vengeance's sensors climbed beyond anything previously recorded. The very fabric of space seemed to bend around the massive energy buildup. Sir, they're generating the equivalent of a small star's output, Smith reported, her voice tight with concern. Steady, everyone. Trust in human engineering, James said. The Council fleet fired. A beam of pure energy, wider than the Vengeance itself, erupted from their formation. It was beautiful and terrifying, a column of destruction that could vaporize moons. The crew of the Vengeance watched it approach on their screens, knowing they had seconds to live if their defenses failed. The beam struck the mirror field. For a moment, nothing happened. The energy seemed to pause, as if confused. Then, like water hitting a wall and bouncing back, the beam reversed direction. But it didn't just reflect, it amplified. The mirror field doubled the energy and sent it racing back toward the Council fleet. Admiral, Krell had just enough time to realize his mistake before the reflected beam hit. The Unity Protocol required all ships to be linked. This connection, meant to be their strength, became their doom. The doubled energy surge overloaded their linked power cores simultaneously. Ships didn't explode. they disintegrated. 44 vessels and over 30,000 lives vanished. In a flash of light, it could be seen from planets light years away. The bridge of the Vengeance was silent. Even James hadn't expected such complete destruction. The mirror field had worked better than their simulations predicted. "Sir," Smith whispered, "I'm not reading any survivors." James closed his eyes for a moment, feeling the weight of what they'd done. "Send a message to Earth. Phase 1 is complete. The Council fleet is neutralized. Captain, we're receiving an emergency transmission from the Council home world," Wilson announced. On the screen appeared High Chancellor Vox, the supreme leader of the Galactic Council. The ancient being's 6 eyes showed fear for the first time in centuries. "What have you done?" "What was necessary," James replied. "Your fleet fired on us. We defended ourselves. You destroyed 44 ships with 1 vessel. That's impossible." "For you, perhaps." "High Chancellor, humanity has a simple message. The age of Council dominance is over. We offer partnership, not submission. Equal representation, fair trade, and respect for all species." "And if we refuse?" James gestured to the debris field that was once the Council's most powerful fleet. "Then we'll have this conversation again. But next time, we'll bring our entire fleet." The transmission ended, leaving the galaxy forever changed. Asterisk. News of the Vengeance's victory spread across the galaxy like wildfire. On 100 worlds, species that had lived under Council rule for millennia watched the footage in disbelief. A single human ship had destroyed an entire Council battle fleet without taking damage, deep beneath Earth's Pacific Ocean, in a facility that didn't officially exist. Admiral Roberts watched the tactical data from the battle. She commanded Earth's Shadow Fleet, 6 more dreadnoughts and 40 smaller warships hidden across the solar system. "Phase 2 begins now," she announced to her staff. "Deploy all vessels to their assigned positions." Commander Lee studied the deployment map. "Admiral, are we sure about revealing our full strength?" "The element of surprise has been our greatest advantage." Roberts nodded. "The Council knows we have more ships. Better to show strength from a position of power than let them think the Vengeance is all we have." Across Earth's solar system, hidden bases came alive. From inside hollowed-out asteroids, from beneath the ice of Europa, from Mars's deepest canyons, humanity's secret fleet emerged. Each dreadnought was a masterpiece of human engineering, incorporating stolen Council technology, improved beyond recognition. The UES Liberty rose from the Atlantic Ocean, water streaming off its massive hull. The U's Justice emerged from the moon's dark side. The UES Freedom, Independence, Sovereign, and Unity appeared at their designated coordinates. 40 smaller destroyers and cruisers joined them, forming battle groups around each dreadnought. On the Council home world, emergency sessions ran continuously. Representatives from 300 species argued about how to respond to humanity's challenge. Some called for immediate war, others for negotiation, and many simply wanted to understand how humans had achieved such technology. Consular Drake, a spider-like being from the Outer Rim, addressed the assembly. "How did we miss this?" Humans were classified as a Level 2 species, barely capable of interstellar travel. "They deceived us," High Chancellor Vox replied. "For 50 years, they played the role of primitive newcomers while secretly studying our technology. But our technology cannot do what theirs does," Counselor Tam, a crystalline entity, interjected. "Those gravity weapons, those shields, they've surpassed us." The truth was simple but hard to accept. The Council had grown complacent after 10,000 years of dominance. They stopped innovating, stopped questioning, stopped improving. Meanwhile, humanity did what humans did best. They adapted, learned, and evolved. Captain James received new orders aboard the Vengeance. The ship turned toward the Vega system, where the Council maintained their largest military base outside their home world. 300 warships were stationed there, along with orbital defense platforms that could destroy moons. "Sir, jumping to Vega will put us in range of their entire reserve fleet," Wilson warned. "That's the point," James replied. "We need to demonstrate that distance and numbers mean nothing to us." The Vengeance activated its gravity drive. Unlike conventional hyperspace jumps that took hours or days, the gravity drive folded space itself. The ship disappeared from one location and instantly appeared at another. Ignoring the laws of physics that bound other species, the Vega system's alarms screamed as the human dreadnought materialized inside their defensive perimeter. 300 Council ships scrambled to respond, but James wasn't there to fight. "Broadcasting on all frequencies," he announced. A hologram of James appeared above every major city on 12 inhabited worlds in the system. "Citizens of the Galactic Council, I am Captain James of Earth. You've been told humans are aggressive invaders. This is false. We seek only equality and freedom. Your leaders have kept you in technological stagnation for millennia, using fear to maintain control." He gestured, and technical specifications appeared beside him. "We're transmitting the basic principles of our shield technology to all civilian networks. This knowledge is our gift to all species. Your governments have no right to keep you defenseless." The transmission lasted only 30 seconds before Council forces jammed it, but the damage was done. Millions of citizens had received the data. Scientists on dozens of worlds immediately began studying the human specifications. Realizing their leaders had indeed been suppressing technological advancement, before the Vega defense fleet could coordinate an attack. The Vengeance vanished again, reappearing near Earth. But the ship didn't return alone. Following in its wake were 17 vessels from various species, defectors who chose to side with humanity. "Captain, we're receiving hundreds of communication requests," Smith reported. "Ships, colonies, even entire systems want to discuss alliance with Earth." James smiled. The real battle wasn't being fought with weapons. It was being fought in the minds of the galaxy's citizens. And humanity was winning. Within 48 hours of the Vengeance's broadcast, the Galactic Council faced its first internal rebellion in 8,000 years. The Proxima colony, home to 20 million beings from various species, declared independence and requested Earth's protection. Admiral Roberts positioned the U.S. Liberty at Proxima's edge. The dreadnought's presence alone prevented Council forces from retaking the colony. More systems followed Proxima's example. The Outer Rim territories, always treated as second-class regions by the Council, saw their chance for freedom. High Chancellor Vox convened an emergency war council, the chamber filled with the galaxy's most powerful military leaders, all demanding immediate action against humanity. "We must strike Earth directly," General Kor, a massive warrior from a high-gravity world, insisted. "Destroy their home world, and their fleet becomes meaningless." "With what forces?" Counselor Drake asked. "Half our fleet is dealing with rebellions. The other half fears those gravity weapons." Vox raised his appendages for silence. "We have one option left. The Omega Protocol." The chamber fell silent. The Omega Protocol was a legend, a doomsday weapon created at the height of the Council's power. It had never been used, deemed too dangerous even for warfare. "Chancellor, the Omega weapon could destabilize entire star systems," Counselor Tam warned. "Using it breaks our own laws." "Humans broke the natural order first," Vox replied. "Desperate times require desperate measures." Meanwhile, on Earth, humanity's true advantage was revealing itself. In underground laboratories, thousands of scientists worked on the next generation of weapons. Humanity's strength wasn't just their technology. It was their ability to innovate rapidly under pressure. Dr. Park, Earth's leading physicist, presented her latest creation, to Admiral Roberts. "We call it the quantum disruptor. It doesn't destroy ships. It removes them from existence at the quantum level." Roberts studied the device. "How many can we build?" 12 units in the next week. Each one can be fitted to our dreadnoughts." On the bridge of the Vengeance, Captain James received troubling intelligence. "Captain, our spies report unusual activity at the Council's core worlds." "They're moving something big," Lieutenant Smith reported. "The Omega Protocol," James said quietly. His crew looked at him in surprise. "Sir, that's just a myth," Wilson said. "No, it's real. Our intelligence confirmed its existence years ago. It's a weapon that can destroy stars." James stood, his expression grim. "Signal all Earth forces. Operation Checkmate begins now." Humanity had planned for this possibility. 7 dreadnoughts jumped simultaneously to different strategic locations across Council space. Each ship appeared at a critical Council installation: shipyards, communication hubs, power generation facilities. They didn't attack. They simply appeared and waited. James opened a channel to High Chancellor Vox. "Chancellor, we know about the Omega weapon. We also know it's stored on your third moon. If you activate it, we'll destroy every piece of Council infrastructure in the galaxy. Your civilization will collapse within days." Vox appeared on screen, his 6 eyes blazing with fury. "You dare threaten us? We're offering you a choice. Use the Omega weapon and rule over Ashes, or accept the new reality. Humanity and all species deserve equality. You humans have existed for mere decades in space. We've ruled for 10 millennia. And that's exactly why you're losing," James replied. "You've forgotten how to adapt, how to grow. Your empire is already crumbling. We're offering you a chance to transform it into something better." Behind Vox, other Council members were arguing. The fractures in their unity were becoming visible. Some species had prospered under Council rule, but many more had suffered. Humanity's defiance gave them hope. Counselor Drake stepped forward. Perhaps it's time for change. The humans have proven their strength. Fighting them will only bring more death." "You speak of surrender?" Vox hissed. Asterisk. "I speak of survival," Drake replied. "And evolution." The Council was splitting. Those who had held power wanted war. Those who had been oppressed saw opportunity. The revolution humanity started was spreading beyond their control. Captain James made one final statement. "You have 24 hours to decide. Disable the Omega weapon and negotiate in good faith, or watch your empire burn. The choice is yours." The transmission ended. Across the galaxy, billions of beings waited to see if the old order would die peacefully or in flames. On Earth, production of warships accelerated. Humanity had shown mercy, but they were prepared for war. The galaxy held its breath, waiting for the Council's answer. Asterisk. The 24 hours passed slowly. Earth's dreadnoughts remained at their positions, weapons powered but not firing. On countless worlds, citizens watched news feeds constantly, waiting for the Council's decision. In the Council chambers, the debate had raged through the night. High Chancellor Vox stood alone, most of his supporters having abandoned him. The weight of 10,000 years of tradition pressed down on him, but the reality was undeniable. The age of Council supremacy was over. Counselor Drake had gathered enough support to force a vote. 212 species voted for negotiation. Only 88 supported continued warfare. The democratic process the Council had ignored for millennia finally functioned as intended. Vox transmitted his response to Captain James. The old leader looked exhausted, defeated. The Galactic Council agrees to negotiate. The Omega weapon is being deactivated. James nodded respectfully. "You've made the right choice, Chancellor." We'll meet at the neutral station in the Centauri system. 3 days later, representatives from Earth and the Council gathered. The human delegation wasn't just military officers. It included scientists, diplomats, artists, and teachers. Humanity brought their full diversity to the table. President Martinez of Earth spoke first. We don't seek to destroy the Council, only to reform it. Every species deserves equal representation, regardless of their technology level or military strength. You speak of equality after threatening us with annihilation? Vox challenged. We showed strength because it was the only language you understood, Martinez replied. But our true power isn't in our weapons. It's in our willingness to share knowledge, to lift others up rather than keep them down. Dr. Park presented a data pad. These are the complete specifications for our shield technology, our medical advances, and our agricultural innovations. We offer them freely to all species. The Council members were stunned. No dominant power had ever voluntarily shared such advantages. It went against everything they believed about maintaining control. What do you want in return? Counselor Tam asked suspiciously. Partnership, Martinez said simply. A new galactic alliance where decisions are made democratically, where technology is shared, where no species lords over another. Over the following weeks, the negotiations continued. Some Council hardliners attempted sabotage, but Earth's fleet prevented any violence. Gradually, a new structure emerged. The Galactic Alliance replaced the Council. Each species received one vote, regardless of size or power. Technology sharing became mandatory. Military forces were restructured as peacekeepers rather than oppressors. Captain James was offered the position of Supreme Admiral of the new Alliance fleet. He declined. That role should rotate between species. No one group should hold military power indefinitely. Instead, James took command of the Explorer Corps, using the Vengeance and her sister ships for their intended purpose, pushing the boundaries of known space, seeking new civilizations to invite into the Alliance. Within a year, the galaxy had transformed. Former Council worlds that had hoarded resources now traded freely. Species that had been restricted to single systems expanded to new worlds. Scientific advancement accelerated at an unprecedented rate as different cultures shared their unique perspectives. The Proxima colony became a symbol of the new age. Members of 40 different species lived and worked together, their children playing in the same schools, learning about the galaxy's diversity from the beginning. Admiral Roberts retired from military service and established the Galactic Defense Academy, where all species could learn humanity's military innovations. But more importantly, they learned humanity's philosophy, that strength should protect the weak, not dominate them. High Chancellor Vox, stripped of his absolute power, but retained as an advisor, admitted to President Martinez, "We ruled through fear for so long. We forgot there were other ways. Your species reminded us of what we had lost." "You gave us the stars," Martinez replied. "We simply showed you that they belong to everyone." 5 years after the Vengeance's first appearance, Captain James stood on the bridge of his ship, now retrofitted for exploration. His crew included members from 17 different species. They were heading beyond the galaxy's edge into truly unknown space. "Sir, we're ready to jump," his new navigator, a young alien who would have never served on a capital ship under the old Council, reported. James looked at the star map, showing the Alliance's expanded borders, the thousands of worlds now working together. Humanity had given the galaxy something more powerful than any weapon: hope for a better future. "Take us out," James ordered. "Let's see what else is out there." The Vengeance jumped into the unknown, carrying the Alliance's message to whatever civilizations awaited discovery. The galaxy hadn't been ready for humanity's ultimate warship, but in the end, it wasn't the ship that changed everything. It was humanity's ultimate weapon, their belief that together all species could achieve greatness. The end. Asterisk.